So, as we get to settle in, go ahead and allow yourself just to take a nice deep breath in and a out. Word exhale. If you, anytime you can exhale through the mouth, you're really allowing yourself to relieve stress. If you're someone that sighs often during the day, it's a way to relieve stress. My dog is great at that. So just allow yourself to take another big, deep breath in, filling that lung cavity. And as you exhale, even allow just a whoosh of that feeling. And we're going to do it one more time. And this time, I want you to think about bringing in all of the troubles, everything you'd like to melt away, and allow yourself to just release that. And gently close your eyes. And the first thing we're going to do is just acknowledge. Notice what is here. Become aware of your feelings regarding perhaps a particular challenge, an issue, or a memory. And as you become aware of those feelings, focus your attention in the area of the heart. Imagine breathing ease or appreciation slowly and casually through your heart or chest area. Continue focusing your attention in the area of the heart, breathing in ease or appreciation. And assume objectivity about the feeling or issue, as if you were considering it from a neutral observer's perspective. If it helps, you could say to yourself, I am not the same as this issue. Step 4 is to rest in neutral in your objective, mature heart. This is where I invite people to get curious, almost as if you are observing yourself from outside of your body. Step 5, soak and ease any disturbed or perplexing feelings in the compassion of the heart. This can help dissolve the significance a little at a time. Remember, it's not the challenge or issue that caused energy drain as much as the significance you assign to it. Allow your heart to feel compassion. And step 6, we're going to ask for insight. After dissolving as much significance as you can, sincerely ask your heart's intuition for appropriate inner guidance or insight. Ask your heart what really matters here. This is an important part of Cut-Thru. If you return to that place of appreciation and just wait to see if an insight comes through. I'll share this quote to end the official HeartMath portion of this podcast. It takes genuine compassion, patience, and appreciation to release histories that keep us disconnected. When the body goes through something the mind feels it has easily processed or casually processed, that means the body hasn't fully shared its feelings. We tend to think of ourselves as the body, but there are all these independent cells working together, and it explains why a toddler's response, which is a bodily response, is so different than an adult, and yet we did not get new brains when we became an adult. There are parts of the body that want to be heard. The anger is in the liver usually. And when we're allowed our body to speak, this is where you becoming the observer becomes so important. You don't know what it has to say. You might ask it, what was this experience like for you? Where are you angry? When we look at the grief stages, because the Cut-Thru Technique is it's really about healing a deeper emotional memory. And the stages of grief let us know where each one of these emotions resides. So when the emotion of anger is here, we know there's grief. When the emotion of denial is here, we know there's grief. When we are bargaining with life itself, we are experiencing grief, and toddlers will experience grief over the different cup that they didn't get. And it's really a loss of autonomy that they're grieving. It's not a death. And the only type of grief we talk about is that kind. It's important to recognize that the body, its cells it's always in a state of dying and repairing. And there are parts of your body that are stuck in some of those stages. Just because you're living in 2026 does not mean that all of you is living in 2026. And so since the autonomic nervous system, which is what we're connecting to there with the heart, is controlling the experience of the central nervous system signals to the brain. It's not like the ANS and the CNS do not argue with each other. It requires our consciousness, I think, to get in the way. And so when we can observe more and be conscious less, Einstein actually had a smaller brain, not a larger one. Fun fact. Much larger, the thick colossum that runs between the left brain, the right brain. It was much thicker, which is what we really want, everything firing and going across roadways faster. So turns out the smarter we are, the less our mind we use, become more efficient. Horses are a great example for people when they are like, how does this all work? Anyone that's ever stood next to a horse, they have such a large magnetic field around them. They have a very large heart. And that is why they are wise. And you can't tame all of them, just like people. There is a worksheet that goes along with the cut-through exercise. If you have gone to my website and signed up for the website, you will be able to access for free some of these resources. So I'd encourage you to do so at alprofessionalcoaching.com if you're interested in checking out the worksheet. I'll just describe a little bit of it to you. The cut-through, it has you write down what is my problem or issue. So if you have a piece of paper in front of you, you don't have to subscribe. And you're going to write down before you do the technique, what is your attitude and feeling regarding the issue? And that is, if you go back and re-listen to this, that is step one, is if you are angry, bring in the anger. And so this was an interesting one for me when I did this in my certification, is it just happened to align on the anniversary of my divorce, which I did throw a party for. And so I thought this would be a great one for me to bring up. And noticing where I was, it wasn't exactly neutral and I wasn't exactly celebrating. And sometimes we have been so moving through the emotions. It's been 10 years, so this is not recent, guys, that we move through emotions and we do things that we sometimes, we don't even really know how we feel because we didn't give a chance to sit with those feelings. And we didn't have the luxury sometimes to do that. So you're going to acknowledge what that is before, then you're going to do the exercise afterwards. You're going to record for yourself the attitudes and feelings regarding the issue and any new insights or perspectives that you have. So I like to bring this to teams and corporate as well, as it's a great opportunity for plugged back in there. Sometimes with teams, we, there's been a stressful time. Like there may be some emotions that people are carrying because they came over from a different company and they're bringing their baggage. As a teacher, I had so many students who had baggage from previous teachers who looked like me, who taught the same subject as me. So it's a great way for you to even just share this recording to help support people as they're moving through things that are hard, layoffs, super hard. How do we move through those feelings? Another really great technique. And again, you can do this on your own, walking yourself through these basic steps. If you skip a step, it's all right. It was meant to be skipped. Just allowing yourself to acknowledge where you're at, to bring in the ease and appreciation, and then to allow yourself to get some wisdom from the heart. There's also a positive contributions card that I'll have in there as well, that gives you an idea of, where am I able, what energy am I bringing when I'm able to bring my best, and what feeling allows me to bring those, so that you can replicate that. If you know that when I'm feeling this way, I make my best decisions, we want to feel that way before we make decisions. And this is true of going into team meetings. And again, if this is like a particularly hard team meeting, maybe you've been in this meeting 3 times and it feels frustrating. Anytime you feel frustrating, it's a chance to shift and lift that feeling, so that you know what is the right step for me that will bring me back into joy, back into success, back into feeling peace. Those are our natural states. And maybe even back into feeling surprise. You know what? Get curious. Maybe there is something you do agree with. And if you can't find anything that you can't agree with, if you're really struggling, that's where the curiosity gets really fun. Allow yourself to be surprised in the moment of where you can find that you agree. So thank you for stopping by another riveting episode of Katie's Classroom. There'll be more breathing exercises as well on my website. So if you're interested in more of the opportunities to practice breathing throughout the day, you can head over to outprofessionalcoaching.com, subscribe to the website, check out the podcast. There's a bunch of good ones on there already. And once you subscribe, you'll get added to a group to get some more of these recordings.